Welcome back to another episode of the Silly Little Girls Club, and I am joined by two incredible guests today, the founders of InnBeauty, Jen and Alisa. Their story is incredible, how they've come together to co-found such an incredible, inclusive, accessible beauty brand that doesn't compromise on ingredients, but then doesn't cost the earth. It is such an incredible story. They are such inspirational women with so many tangible takeaways and just a really inspiring conversation that I cannot wait for you to listen to. So let's get into it. Welcome, girls, to the Silly Little Girls Club.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm so excited that you guys are here and that we managed to make this work because you're on a flying trip, right?
Yes. We're here for the week. Thank you
Oh
for
my
having us.
God.
We're so happy to be here.
Oh my God, my absolute pleasure. I think what you guys are doing with InnBeauty is so incredible, and I couldn't miss the opportunity to delve in a little bit more to how it all came about. And it launched really not that long ago.
Just over 5 years ago.
Yeah,
We're
which
still
is-
a very young brand.
Yeah, and exactly, and it's like going global. So it's like I read that you've kind of launched this to fill a gap in the skincare market. So what is it that sort of made you guys go, this is what we're doing?
We did. We'll give a little bit of our background
Yeah.
and that'll bring us to InnBeauty and why InnBeauty. Jen and I have both worked in the beauty industry our entire careers. After graduating college, I worked at big brands, small brands, L'Oreal, Procter and Gamble, and then some private equity, small indie brands, which is where I met Jen. I've been on the product development and formula side, so I worked for brands like Tarte, Bare Essentials. I was on the complexion team, was head of product development for Tatcha, and then met Alisa at Tula. And we're such great partners because Jen is the best product developer in the world. Once you hear from Jen, she's truly the encyclopedia of beauty and ingredients. And I've always been on the marketing side. My passion is really creating that connection between a product and the customers. And we were working at Tula doing creative, doing fantastic things there, and just had the synergy between what we were loving about beauty and skincare and noticed this white space, and we just couldn't put this idea down of why isn't there a brand that is just truly like highest level of efficacy, clinical efficacy, data backed, science backed, clean,
Yeah.
because the customer doesn't want to put anything toxic on their skin, and then also accessible versus what we saw in the market. There's so many brands that are groundbreaking. However, and we're going to speak in dollars. We're Americans.
No, we love it. We're on the
They're
dollars, the
upwards
bucks.
of $150, $200 per product. You can't really find them at stores. You have to make an appointment with your dermatologist. And so that's just not accessible. And most women can't shop like that and can't take care of their skin like that. So we had this vision and we couldn't put the idea down. We truly quit our jobs, talked to our family and said, like, will you support us? They said, absolutely. We believe in you too. And started InnBeauty.
That's incredible. I mean, how fated, like, to go through different backgrounds to merge so perfectly together to create something truly unique. That is like unbelievable. So, launching 2019,
Just
like,
before COVID.
oh my goodness. What was that like? Like when COVID came out,
It was-
what
yeah,
part
it
of the
was
business were you in when that landed, when COVID hit?
brand new. I mean, we just launched.
We launched November.
Yeah. So we were, I mean, you're starting on your own website right before you
Yeah.
have any retail partners. And
Yeah.
so we were like, is anybody gonna buy anything? And we days where we're like, are we gonna make $60? Like, that was like a big deal in the beginning. And then when COVID happened, like we were like, oh wow, like there's things
in a bad place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's always things out of your control though, and that's a really great lesson to learn as entrepreneurs because being super type A personalities that I feel like a lot of founders can be, you want to try to control everything.
Absolutely everything.
And when things like that happen, you can't control it. So it's how do you like mitigate the situation the best you can. So we were very careful with how we spent the money that we had raised for the brand. And really, I mean, we didn't take a salary for several years. We didn't hire anybody. We did everything ourselves. We actually left our warehouse when COVID happened. We became our own warehouse.
Oh wow! So you became distro and everything.
We
as
became
well.
distro. We split days. And for about 6 hours a day, we'd pack boxes and then we'd haul them over to, the post office to get them mailed out. So, I mean, it was a great learning
Yeah.
experience. We got to learn a lot. But I think like just
Customer service, really
oh,
giving
everything.
customers. We did everything.
We did it all. I mean, it was the two of us for
Yeah.
quite a long time, but we made it through,
Yeah.
luckily.
It's helped us pack our
They
boxes.
did.
I was
Shout
gonna
out-
say, I
shout out our
hope so.
husbands. They did boxes at night and had so many paper cups.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Do you think that COVID in one way did come along because everyone was at home, everyone was on their phones, everybody was looking for different things, they were treating themselves maybe a little bit more than they were. Do you think that had any impact on, launching and things like that in a positive way or
I think we were so young, so the awareness was pretty low for us. I do think people were, looking more on social media and discovering some more. So I do think that probably helped us. People were spending more on skincare specifically. They weren't spending as much on makeup because they weren't going out.
Yeah.
So that helped us. So where I think it really, you saw like a big boom were brands that were kind of already a little more established and like in a retailer like a Sephora Ulta. And then they saw a massive boom during COVID. But we saw some increase, but it wasn't like we were that established. So
no?
it wasn't like a great increase for us.
Fair.
Yeah.
This was always quite interesting because like, there's so many different things that came from COVID and so many like, a lot of people really were able to use it to gather momentum. And it's like, and I think, people being at home, and I think it did make people more aware of what was going on and what they're putting on their skin and searching for
Yes.
things a little
Yeah.
bit more.
There was a lot of downtime, a lot of ingredient
Yeah.
research, a lot of skincare research. COVID resulted in a skincare boom, which I
Yeah.
think ultimately benefited us. And so it also just teaches you the lesson. You don't know what tomorrow will bring. So be prepared for anything and everything.
Yeah.
Well, COVID had an enormous boom for .com businesses and online and e-commerce, and that was wonderful. And then coming out of COVID, every retailer's priority was brick and mortar. How do I get the shoppers back into the stores? And so that's where we leaned in. And
Yeah.
so you have to really be agile and pivot. You can't just be like one channel brand.
No, absolutely. I think especially with startups, and I think maybe doing it all in the beginning was a really good thing to do because it made every dynamic of your business you knew inside out, so you could really be agile with it.
Absolutely. And Alyssa and I are the type of founders where we're never going to hire anybody and expect anybody to do something that we wouldn't do ourselves. We are in every aspect of the business. I think that's also kind of where we differ. We're very much operational founders. A lot of founders can be more like influencers, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're the face of the brand. They're shooting content all the time. We're literally looking up POs, making sure things shipped. We are in every aspect of the business, but I think that helps us because we intimately understand everything that everyone on our team is doing.
Absolutely. I think you get your systems so intrinsically embedded into the company that it can run, and you get to that point where but maybe if you want to go on to something else, you can take that time because you've set it all up and it's there, which is like a reassurance thing. So I guess how do you go then from launching to this, doing everything, bootstrapping this business basically,
Yeah.
to then Sephora and like all of these retailers and things like that? How does that growth trajectory happen?
Well, it certainly wasn't overnight. However, Jen and I knew, especially coming out of COVID, that we, in order to establish our brand and just introduce our brand to millions of customers, we needed a marquee retail partner. And in the States, there are really two that are within our channel of distribution that we chose, which is Prestige, and that's Sephora and Ulta. And both do fantastic business and remarkable brand builders. However, Sephora has this advantage and this edge where they've just historically built the most iconic brands. If you think of brands like Tatcha and Drunk Elephant, To the People, these are brands that were incubated and started at Sephora with 1, 2, 3 products on a tiny little shelf and grew to be these behemoths. And so we knew Sephora was going to be our launch partner, and we fortunately had the connections and the retail experience. And so it was a call that turned into another call that turned into a true conversation and ultimately a launch.
Oh,
One
wow.
thing they said to us was, "Be ready. Are you ready?" We're like, "We're ready.
We're ready.
We're ready.
We've been packing these
know.
boxes ourselves. We're ready.
Our whole careers, took us to this point.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Oh my gosh. So how many products did you launch then within Sephora? Like when you
I
started
think
off?
it was I think it was 4. We had 12 inches on the next big thing wall, which is like the discovery wall. And we launched with 4 SKUs, and that quickly turned into 12 inches, turned into 18, turned into 36. And now we have our own branded end cap space in all stores in the US and Canada. And this week we're launching in the UK.
Yeah. I mean, that's growing across continents now. That must be pretty exciting.
I mean, we're freaking out. We're here in the UK. We're here in London launching our brand. If you told us, 7 years ago that we'd be at this point, we'd say, like, no, it's going to take longer. We're really fortunate, and we worked really hard for this. So we're really
Absolutely.
excited.
Oh my gosh, of course. And like, things like you say don't just happen overnight. They take so much dedication and time.
Nobody talks about the lows.
No.
Someone once told me, like, be prepared. Your highs are high and you're going to be on cloud 9 and the lows are really low, and just be prepared. And I think like that's our common thread is like our grit. So we just got to ride out the lows. Like, it's okay.
It's okay. It's not
Yeah.
normal for it to all be high. Like, and also without the lows, you wouldn't recognize a high
course.
as well.
I also think there's a common misconception that if you have great product, it'll just blow up overnight. And that's just, if you look at any of the brands that have longevity and you look at how long it took them to really gain awareness and gain traction, I mean, it takes a long time. So Alyssa always talks about the perfect storm, and I think it's true. It takes the right amount of products, the right product portfolio, the right retail partner, the right marketing, and it has to all, bubble
Yeah.
up over the right amount of time.
And I think also the right experience and the right
Mhm.
backgrounds. Like you two sound like it was absolutely that perfect storm that sort of really propelled this. Because without what you do and without what you bring to it, that it would just never work, right?
I always say I'm 42. I'm proud to be 42. I would not be able to be here in, my 20s or even early 30s. It took every role, every job, every good experience, every bad experience to get here. And I think Jen and I are such confident decision makers that not because we're just aloof and we're just, going to fly by the seat of our pants. We've been through this before.
Yeah.
We've seen brands fail, succeed. We've like been through the playbook. And so that I think is what keeps us going. It keeps us successful.
Absolutely. I think, yeah. And I think seeing it and witnessing it and finding those little bits where you're like, you started this because there was a gap and it's even filling that in different areas of business, right? So, I mean, it's already creating quite a buzz in the UK. And I think that's that's something to be really proud of. That's really exciting.
We're so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
We don't know this market as intimately. We are still, effectively we're tourists here. And so, no, we're so happy to hear that.
No, it is. And I think, having a brand partner like Sephora to get it out there. I mean, have you been in store and seen it yet?
Yeah, we
Yeah?
did a morning training yesterday, so it was very exciting, and it was very well received. Everybody's really excited, so we're excited to see how the launch goes. We officially launch tomorrow. Yeah, a lot of passion for skincare. I would say even more
Love to hear
passion for
that.
skincare than in the US.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it, how like different places are like that? But
Yeah.
there's a huge sort of there's just a huge demand for skincare here, and people are really into it. I don't know if you're just all concerned about aging and just like I don't know what it is, but I just think, oh my gosh. I mean, you've got some pretty big hero products as well, haven't you? The Extreme Eye Cream and Extreme Cream.
Extreme Cream and Extreme Cream
Mhm.
Eye. Yeah. They launched Extreme Creams like a year and a half ago.
So not this February, last January, end of January 30th was the birth of Extreme Cream. It's become an icon in a very short amount of time.
What was the thinking behind this? How did it come about?
So there's so many great moisturizers on the market. And so something I do before I even think about the formula is I think about where can we fit into the market? How do we create something that's completely new and different and innovative? And when you look at the landscape, first of all, we didn't really have anything in like the anti-aging, pro-aging category, however you want to talk about it. And when you look at that landscape, a lot of the moisturizers talk about wrinkles. And I firmly believe you wrinkle or you sag.
Okay.
Generally,
Yeah.
like you're gonna see more of one or the other. I come from a family of saggers, so me personally, it was like a personal journey to, try to find something that would help with the effects of gravity and the sagging of the skin, and there really wasn't a lot on the market. And so I felt like that was really a point of differentiation we could try to go after. It's very hard. As you learn as you're formulating wrinkles, a lot of times dehydration wrinkles, obviously if they're deeper wrinkles, that's, further along, but dehydration wrinkles can be plumped up with hydration. But when you're talking about lifting, sagging skin, that's incredibly difficult. So that's kind of what we challenge ourselves with. And my favorite part is the ingredient search. It's kind of like a treasure hunt for me. And so I source all different types of ingredients across the world. And I found a very cool peptide that works on the fibrous connections between the ligaments of your skin and your face to the top layer of your skin. And as we age and gravity takes its effect, those fibrous ligaments start to loosen up and you get the sagging. So this peptide specifically works on those fibrous connections, tightening them up. So we would like to say it's almost like over time Spanx for the face because it really does lift
Oh my God,
and
I love
firm.
that.
Yeah, and of course, there's a lot of other great ingredients. We have a plant-based retinol alternative that has far better data than bakuchiol, because I know everybody's heard of bakuchiol, but this is like next generation of a plant-based retinol alternative. There's 3 different ceramides. It's also a very unique reverse emulsion texture. So most of the moisturizer on the market are regular emulsions. 99% of what you find on the market is considered a quote unquote regular emulsion, which means it has a tiny oil droplet suspended in a larger water droplet, which means it has more water.
Yeah.
We reversed it. We put a tiny little water droplet inside of a larger oil droplet. So they have a larger concentration of skin-friendly oils, which gives you a more moisturizing, more nourishing formula. But what I love about the reverse emulsion is you still have that tiny little water droplet in there. So as you're spreading it, even though it feels richer, it breaks. And it absorbs into the skin. It drives the actives into the skin. And so you're getting this like richer texture that doesn't feel oily or sit on top of the skin. So it's a very unique textural experience as well.
And just for reference, there are only a few reverse
There
emulsions in the beauty space, and there's one really famous one,
$300 in the US.
$300 blue bottle. It's BB cream, and
Right.
but that price point is just
It's unobtainable, not accessible, like you said. Like, my gosh, that is incredible that you're managing to do that and bring it to people and make it accessible. Like, unbelievable.
Yeah,
I
thank
mean,
you.
and everything's clinically backed as well, right? Like,
Clinicals are super
Mhm.
important to me. So starting from how we choose ingredients, there's a lot of different ingredients. There's tens of thousands of
I mean, I don't even know
ingredients,
how you
right? There's
choose.
so many. A lot of brands will rely on the testing that the ingredient manufacturer has completed, which can be as simple as we put some skin cells or animal cells in a petri dish, we added the ingredient, and we saw how those cells reacted. I don't see that always translating into actual results on human skin. So we only look at ingredients that have been tested in vivo, which means on human subjects who are living life, eating, drinking, out in pollution, out in the sun, because I feel like we're all going through so much more. Oh, sorry. We're all going through so much more than just, scout cells sitting in a petri dish,
yeah.
right? And so we choose only those ingredients. And then we also invest in our final formula clinical testing, which is not normal in the industry. I will say I've never had the budget to clinical test like I have the budget here, but I'm a co-founder, so I set my budgets, which is great. But we invest $100,000 to $200,000 per product to final formula third-party clinical tests. It's all done independently of us, so there's no bias. We have a panel who basically goes in at baseline. They get their skin measurements via machine or an expert grader, depending on what you're trying to measure. And then at different time points, we'll usually do like 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We go up to 12 weeks because I like to see a couple skin cycles. As we age, our skin cycles really slow down. So at least, you're getting at least 2 cycles in there with 12 weeks. But we redo the clinical measurements at each time point to show how the product, or we only change the one product in the routine.
Mm-hmm.
We don't influence what they eat, their diet, their exercise, anything like that. So it's as controlled as it possibly can be. And then we look at the measurements and see how the product is improving the skin over time. So it's much different than what you typically see, which is more perception studies, which is, 98% of users felt their skin was firmer. Which basically there's no measurements involved. It's somebody using a product and then they fill out a survey.
Yeah.
Which is about a tenth of the price.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, we're trying to prove to you that our $48 moisturizer is just as good, if not, I think it's better, but I'm biased, better than the $300 moisturizer. So how do I do that? I do it with data.
Yeah.
And I show you our clinicals are better.
My God, that just makes so much sense.
And the science doesn't lie.
No,
The
of course
data
not.
doesn't lie. And I think a lot of brands don't commit to this level of clinical data and testing because I don't know that after 12 weeks, the product will perform to a level that they'd want to convey to their customers. So you really have to be confident in the formula. And I think that's like the magic of this brand. We are so confident in this product that like, we're not trying to go out and say like, this is the best, the most efficacious, the most clinically effective. So,
well, you look at prestige skincare. So my goal as the person doing the products is regardless of where you shop, Sephora, Ulta, Space and K, Superdrug, up to your professional channels at your Medi spas. Regardless of where you shop, when we create a product, I want it to be the most efficacious product on the market, period. That's always my goal. So something that we do is instead of putting like 1 to 3 clinically proven actives in a formula, we pack in 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's not for us to be like, hey, it's got 11 actives. That's great. But like, it's because of the results you're going to see from it. You're getting a faster, way more efficacious result across different skin tones and skin types.
Yeah.
So that's why we do that.
God, it makes so much sense. And I feel like, with doing these sort of studies and knowing that it's going to work, surely that makes sense for like repeat business and like people buying into the brand and wanting to try more because, these perception things, you're like, oh, it's great. But then, like you say, after 12 weeks, it's not delivered what they want. They're then going to go off somewhere else. So
Absolutely.
this is like, it's surely safeguarding the brand to do this as well.
Absolutely. And I think that's where our approach to pricing and the way we just produce differently and have a completely different business model than most beauty brands plays a role, because you may also fall in love with a product and then you go to repurchase it. It's just too expensive. I've been there where I'm like, oh, I just can't spend that much. And that's what's going to hold you back. And so we never want the price point to be the barrier. We always want that to be the closer of the sale.
Yeah. The pleasant surprise.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's nice because sometimes when you go to the counter at Sephora and you're just like wincing, aren't you? Your hand
We
over
don't
your
want it to
card.
hurt.
So exactly,
Yeah,
it's not
like
gonna
the
hurt.
skincare purchase shouldn't hurt.
No, I think that's what's really special about what you guys do, and maybe like one of the reasons that it is like one of the best sellers. Like it's that not compromising, but being able to give people what they need for a price that does really not hurt, like you say, and it's completely sustainable for them and for their lifestyle, I guess, as
It's
well.
so different than a lot of beauty luxury marketing, because the approach has been so different, where it's been, I'm going to price this as high as I can. And I'm going to convince her through my marketing, through beautiful celebrities, beautiful ad campaigns, that she has to spend the most she can to look beautiful, feel beautiful, get the efficacious results. That's just not true.
Yeah.
And so we're doing it differently. And she's listening.
Yeah. So yeah.
We're the big opposite there, because from the day one, we've always looked at it, from starting the brand, we're like, we want to do things differently. The skincare industry is so saturated. And so, like, does it really need another brand selling $80, $100 moisturizers? I don't think it does. So I feel like everything we do from supply chain, and I think this is because we get this question all the time, and you might be asking this later, but I'll just answer it now.
You can preempt me.
But we get this question all the time, like, it sounds too good to be true. How are you doing it? And from our experience, we've basically been able to figure out how to kind of flip the supply chain on its head. So a lot of times, behind the curtain, people don't see what happens, when you create a formula. First of all, we create our own formulas. We don't take any stock formulas, all custom made for us. But when we give it to a manufacturer, because we don't make it in our kitchen, you have to make it in a nice, well-maintained facility. When we give it to a manufacturer, they're like, okay, to make this formula, this is going to cost this per piece. They don't break out for you how much of that is labor, how much is film assembly, how much is raw materials. They don't do that because they don't want you to know. They're, of course, like, oh, yeah, we'll order all of your ingredients for you, because there could be 60 in a formula.
Yeah.
And it's a lot for a brand to have to manage all of that. And so they're like, don't worry, we'll do it for you. But what they don't tell you is they like to mark it up, oftentimes double. And on those really expensive active ingredients, that adds up quite a bit.
Quickly.
So we're like, no, we know how this goes. Our team's going to order the ingredients. They don't like to do that. But because we've done this for so long, we've developed these really great relationships. I'm like, this is the way we do business. Yeah. So you're either part of our journey or you're not. And luckily, most of them are okay with it, because they realize we're growing so quickly and they want the business. But we order our own raw materials. And so that takes a lot of extra work on our team, but I'm able to save 40 to 50% on formula cost.
It's major.
It's huge.
That is huge.
Because even our investors are like, you guys spend a lot on raw materials. And I'm like, yeah, but we've done the analysis and we save X amount, 40 to 50% on formula alone by doing this. So that's the way we're going to do business. We're going to own the raws. And so that enables me then to not just put 1 to 3 of the expensive ingredients in. I can put the 8, 9, 10, or 11 in.
Yeah.
And we can charge less.
Wow.
And so we do that with raws and we do it with packaging. So we don't work with any fancy middleman with packaging. We're on the phone with Asia at 2 a.m. But again, it's something that's so worth it because we're putting something so differentiated out into the market. And I hope people see that. It saves us so much. We're able to pass those savings off to the consumer.
And for us, it's a long game. If she can afford it every
Absolutely.
day, like we always say, if you find a product that works in your routine, that works, it changes your routine. If you find a product that you can afford, it changes your life.
Yeah. This season is sponsored by Sephora, and their message is one that I absolutely love. We belong to something beautiful. Sephora is more than a store. It's a space where diversity, joy, and creativity come together. From the skincare aisle to the beauty hub, it's a celebration of everyone's most authentic selves. So whether you're shopping for your signature scent or trying out K-beauty for the first time, Sephora is here to champion your beauty your way. Yeah, and it stays on your counter. It stays on your dressing table, and then you replenish and then you buy into more SKUs because you know it works. And you
The
trust
trust
the
is there. You
brand.
build
Yeah.
trust with everything.
Oh my God, this makes so much sense. I can't like. Did you not sometimes like why is nobody like why is this
We're
like
here.
yeah, exactly. Oh my God, screaming into your pillow sometimes. Like, it must
Yeah.
have been like so liberating to start in beauty and do it yourself and be like, no, this is a better
It's been very
way.
empowering. I'm glad you brought it up. It's been very empowering to do things your way, especially knowing what we know and just the experience that we have. I find it very empowering being a beauty founder.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like, and you're killing it. It's just so inspiring to hear these stories and like, people actually going out there and doing things and changing those narratives and, really helping the everyday woman because that is what we're here to do, right? And make people feel good and not
Absolutely.
rip them off. Like, I feel like the value that you bring, I think that's what's coming across. It's about, that sort of building that feeling and that sort of like care for that customer as well as like doing things in a really good way.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
it's amazing. And like, as I was touching it briefly on like co-founding a brand because you bring both so different like elements to the business. What is it like being co-founders and like how has that sort of grown? Because you've gone from meeting in work to like, now owning it as two boss women.
We work so well together, and it's so funny. Like, just people have been like, "Oh, like it's gonna be so hard having a partner, and you're not gonna get along. You're gonna fight." We don't fight. I
No.
think we respect each other so much, and we
Yeah.
also respect each other's lanes. There's no one better than Jen at product development, ingredient sourcing, innovation, and I know that. I don't try to get in there. I don't try to tell her what to do. She'll ask me for feedback. I'll give her my feedback. And even if she doesn't agree, that's all good. We respect each other fundamentally. And I hope you feel that same way about me. Like my passion is and what I've done is so different, but then we need each other. I also understand how much I need Jen and how much Jen needs me in order to do this and be successful. So like we're the perfect yin and yang. And we're very different personalities, but we're gritty. We just go hard.
We're different, but we're also a lot alike. We're both, I would say, type A. We're both really hardworking. Whatever it takes. We don't expect our team to do anything we wouldn't do.
Right.
I think we're both very similar in that. We're both comfortable in our decision making. We're both quick decision makers. So I think that helps a lot that we both have similar
We trust each other
traits like that.
inherently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Like, so I guess with your defined job roles, it makes it quite easy to stay in your lanes, right? So it's like that's the key.
If you're both doing the same thing, you're gonna step on each other's toes. And you're gonna argue and you're gonna want to make different decisions. And so I think it's really identifying what are you working on? What are you working on? Where do we need to combine to make a decision together? But also where do I trust for you to make a decision on your own? Because this is your core competency, not mine.
Yeah.
I think we're also really good. I'm not tooting our own horns, but I think we're really good at the end of the day, the core of what we want is what's best for the business. And if we ever do disagree, we sit down and we talk about it strategically and logically and come to a decision that we feel is best for the business and we remove ego. And I think that's something that's super important as co-founders. There can't be ego in this space. It's like, what's best for the brand? Let's talk about it. And that we always come back to that at the end of the day.
And what's best for the brand is always what's best for the customer. Yeah. If we're not doing what's best for her or him, we're failing.
Yeah. Gosh, that's such a really good way to look at it, isn't it? And I think, a lot of people lose sight of that.
Packaging, marketing, the way we explain things, everything has to be for her. It's not for us. We're not building a company for us. We're building a company for thousands and millions of people to enjoy. So it's about our customer.
It's amazing. And I think you're talking about talking to the customer and educating them. And that's something that you guys seem to do really, really well as well. Like getting that messaging out there and telling people what to do. Has that been a big part of growing the business, you think?
It's that biggest opportunity. Yeah. And I think the skincare landscape has just changed and evolved so rapidly. And there was like a clean boom. And I think clean had a little bit of a missing piece of efficacy. And so we're trying to do things so differently that if we don't educate her, she won't really understand why she should pick our products and try them and see these incredible results. So
It's our business opportunity as a brand.
Absolutely. It's also, trying to convince customers and that you can have a super efficacious formula that will work for you and is also clean and quality, and we don't skimp on any of that, and you can do it for a more accessible price, right? Because I think for so long, it's been this way in so many industries, especially in skincare. If I want something that works, I've got to spend $300, and that's just painful for
Yeah,
to
that's
like
painful for anybody.
do it. I think customers can't do it. And then they end up buying cheaper things and they're ruining their skin. And then they're in this vicious cycle
Yeah.
and they kind of can't get out of it.
Yeah.
So
And then they're feeling low, and it's like,
feeling
yeah,
low, the confidence plummets. And then they're like putting on makeup on top of damaged skin barriers. Like
yeah,
we've seen it on
yeah.
TikTok over and
Oh
over
my God,
again.
some of those videos you see on there, like,
They're
what are you all
damaging their skin
doing?
for the long haul
Yeah.
and they can't get out of it.
No,
So
and let's all not never
skin is
forget, was it
everything.
Gwyneth Paltrow that was like patting sunscreen to me?
Yeah.
Like, oh
Yeah.
my
Sunscreen.
God.
Uh-huh.
Like that was, yeah, so there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I think that's what's, I think what you guys do is like building this community, right? And like, it's it's not just about the product. I feel like it's, it's a movement and it's like a brand voice. And so how do you go about shaping that and making sure that's always consistent?
I love this part because I think also just to touch on something that Jen mentioned before, we're founders that are so in the business and we're such operators. And I think a lot of brands, the community is about the founder. This is so not about us, but this is about every single woman, multi-generational. That's been one of our huge unlocks as a brand. When we first started, we were very much pigeonholed as the Gen Z brand because we had really bright, attractive packaging.
It's
And so
cute.
right away, from industry, press, investors, everyone was like, oh, this is the next Gen Z brand. However, what's in the bottle is so efficacious and so much more than just for a Gen Z audience. And so with Extreme Cream, we've had women of all ages up to 70s and 80s enjoy the product and see like mind-blowing results. And so our community is really about skin confidence and we call it great skin days. How often has anyone complimented you on your skin? Probably never. And so we had this aha moment where women feel so comfortable and confident saying, I'm having a great hair day.
Yeah.
I love my makeup. I love your
It's a skin day.
lip or whatever. And so it's never like, I love your outfit. It's never been about skin. I've never had anyone compliment me on my skin and I've never complimented anyone on their skin. It's something that we have as women. We're always picking at it. It's always about this blemish, this dark spot, this wrinkle, this pimple, whatever it is. Like we're never happy with our skin. And so we need to change that.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
not about perfection. It's progress over perfection. Let's feel good in our skin. Let's have great skin days. It doesn't mean perfect skin.
No, it means
Doesn't
confidence,
exist.
right?
But like you're having a great skin day. Not I love your blush, but you're having a great skin day. Look in the mirror and say, I'm having a great skin day.
Yeah.
I'm on this journey and it's getting better and better. And I'm sticking to my routine.
Yeah.
I can afford my routine.
I mean, giving women that confidence to maybe go out without the makeup on and stuff like that. Like, because that's sometimes people hide behind it. And it's like, if you've got the base and if you're glowing, I mean, people only ever say you're glowing, but it's usually when I've run from the tube and I'm like sweating. And I think they don't know what else to say to me.
But like,
But-
let's give each other compliments. Let's give
Yeah.
ourselves compliments. Great skin days, and then also like, whatever your age, we've been so focused on making sure that we highlight and work with different content creators and that we showcase women of all colors, all ages, so that like one of our biggest spokespeople is in her 50s and she's so loud about it and so proud about feeling like she's never felt more beautiful, more confident. Her skin is her skin. Like she doesn't want to be younger. She wants to look the best that she can at her age. And so we love how comfortable women feel being in our brand and being in our community.
But I mean, what more can you ask for, really? That's it. And if you can get people to be your biggest advocates like that and really shout about you, then it's that word of mouth that exponentially bigger because it's on socials and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's incredible. And I feel like one thing that I do like is it is like, I know it's like for everybody, but when it does come to speaking to that next generation, it's like it's done without dumbing it down as well. Like it's, this is why you need this product. This is why it works. Look at our studies. Like that's
we're not,
incredible.
yeah, and our brand voice and how we want to come across and how we want to be perceived. We're not necessarily your skincare bestie. Like we're authorities in the space. What Jen knows and the knowledge that she comes with is beyond what I've seen in the industry. Again, like I challenge anyone to question Jen and her skincare authority. So
I'm just like throwing down the challenge there, though.
it's like we know what we're doing, and so we're giving you the hard truth, the science, the facts, the clinical studies, the ingredients. We're not here. I was telling someone like we're not just here for the vibes. We're here for the results.
Yeah.
So we're not going to dumb it down. We're going to give you all the science and with all the social media and the TikToks, like the young girls, like they know their ingredients.
Yeah, they
know
do.
the tranexamic acid and this and that. Where like I don't know.
Yeah,
When I was that
yeah,
age, I
literally.
think I'm still playing with Barbies. on TikTok making skincare content.
Oh my, it's incredible, isn't it? Like, one of my like favorite things when I'm like in Sephora is you see the girls with their mums and they're going around, they're educating their mums almost.
know.
Like, no, you need this. This has got this in it,
Yeah.
and you're just like, it's so nice that
It's
people are so
fascinating.
informed now.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's just something. I mean, if you think back to when we were kids, like it just,
So.
I had blue mascara and like no moisturizer, like, and you just think, gosh, it's unbelievable. I feel like, I feel like when they're at like my age, they're gonna look like they're still 20. So that's like, I mean, you keep doing you
My
guys.
daughter
It's
said to me,
amazing.
Mom, my dream is to work at Sephora. Like they love it. I think if you embrace it in the right way, it's all about building self-confidence
Yeah.
and self-care and taking care of yourself and feeling beautiful.
Yeah, and having fun
So-
with it as well sometimes. I think that's what's nice about with InnBeauty specifically is like the packaging and it's still, even though it's an authority and it's like it's a like an incredibly premium like product with the ingredients, it's still fun.
Yeah.
And is that part of the accessibility, do you think, as well?
People want products that look good.
Yeah.
We all want things that look good.
Mm-hmm.
We want to
We want it
look
all.
at something. We want to be happy.
Mm.
So I think that's another focus for us in terms of marketing. Like, there's so much, conversation around like, if you want to be perceived as clinical and efficacious, it has to be boring. It has to be very simple. No, she wants to go to the store. She wants to buy something that like makes her feel good and look good.
Yeah.
And so that's like a huge part of what we're doing. Why do you have to be boring? And
I don't know why you have to choose.
No, why?
Yeah.
It just seems so old-fashioned to have to
It
choose.
is,
Like,
yeah.
we want everything. Like, and I want it, yeah, looking good, doing good, and not costing me a fortune. And that's like nail has been hit on the head there, girls. It's amazing. So I have a couple of like fun, quick fire questions, which I always think are quite fun to sort of end on. So, right. Okay. Favorite favorite InnBeauty product and why?
Extreme Cream Eye.
Okay.
In my 20 years of doing this, I've never seen stronger clinicals, especially around the eye. Like 74% of your wrinkles on average, which is important. We always give averages, are gone in 12 weeks.
Sign me up. I literally.
We're gonna have to get you some.
Yeah. When we made that product, I was like, if this isn't the number one eye cream, I retire. And luckily it was at launch and it still is. So I get to keep working.
Oh my God,
Still here.
amazing. That's incredible. And for
I
you?
love Extreme Cream. It's
Mhm.
phenomenal what it does for your skin. It's mind blowing. And then my runner up is Elastic Skin. It's a vegan growth factor serum. That's like our unsung hero. This is such a good product. Whoever's listening, go try it. Go try it. Go to Sephora, buy it. You don't like it, return it. The return policy is pretty good. Like this will transform your skin. The elasticity, the bounce, the vitality, the radiance, and that it gives your skin. I've never felt more confident in my skin than when using Elastic Skin.
Oh my
It's
God.
good.
Right. I know where I'm going this afternoon. Straight to Sephora. Or tomorrow. It launches tomorrow, right? Yeah. Right.
Today, I think on the app.
Okay.
Tomorrow in the stores.
Wow. Okay, amazing. So, the best and worst advice you've ever received. This ad is brought to you by our sponsor, Sephora, and honestly, they just get it. Sephora's mission is to help you celebrate your unique beauty with a curated mix of global brands, cult faves, and names like Merit and Tower 28. Their expert teams are on hand for everything from benefit brow shaping to signature makeovers, and you can redeem services against products too. I mean, iconic. Because beauty should feel like play, not pressure.
Oh, geez. That's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
I mean, best advice I would say is, raising money is part of the job as entrepreneurs, unless you have a lot of money and then you can fund your own business. But for us, raising and for most entrepreneurs, raising is a big part of the job. And I would say best advice was like, don't get discouraged. You hear a lot of no's in the beginning, especially while you're trying to find the right investor who understands the business and won't drive you to make the wrong decisions, which was so important to us. So I think going into it, understanding that not every investor is going to get it, they're not going to all understand, was really good advice because, it took us a while to find our great partners and our investors, but we have fantastic investors now who really get the business and allow us to really drive it the way we want to drive it.
I think the worst advice is that I've heard and just people talk is like, replicate what other people are doing.
Yeah.
If they're launching this market at this time point, you should do that too. If they're going with this retail partner and have this launch cadence as far as how many products they're launching a year, you should replicate that. So we're doing things our way. Like we've been there. We've seen highs and lows, and so we're so confident what we're building and how we're building it and the time frame with which we're building it. Maybe to some we're moving too fast, maybe to some we're moving too slow, but this is right for us. And so like we never want to follow what anybody else is doing or replicate somebody else's success. We've also seen so many incredible businesses crash and burn because they were just given or taking bad advice,
Yeah.
bad business advice. The product's phenomenal, the founders are brilliant, but someone behind the scenes was just like giving them the wrong advice. And so like we're always going to stick to our guns. We're going to listen to everybody. We are going to sit. We're going to analyze, but we're going to come together. And obviously with the support of our team, can't do anything without our team. We're going to do it our way.
Yeah, I think, that's how to turn bad advice into good advice, isn't
Yeah.
it? And learn lessons from that.
Well
I mean,
said.
yeah, very well. Yeah.
Cheers.
So just to touch on team though, how big is your team now?
About
40 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
This
Oh my
is
Which
gosh.
is crazy because for a long time it was just you and me.
This was two of us for a very
Yeah.
long time doing
Yeah.
everything. We're about 40 people, and I think this is one of my biggest senses of pride, and where I just think what we're doing is incredible, and it's not about us, and even beyond the packaging, beyond the product, sorry, is the team. Like we've created 40 jobs, that weren't there. And that's pretty incredible. And our team is brilliant. They're the most creative, analytical,
Hardworking.
data savvy, hardworking people. And like we've just created these jobs. And like to me, that's the dream. And that's what entrepreneurship is about. It's not just about us and the product. It's about like and these jobs are like giving people livelihood and they have great lives and they're able to pay their bills and support their family and live incredible lives. And so like that to me is something that we don't often think about. But
Yeah, definitely. We're having a bad day. I think about that though a lot because I'm like, there's a lot of people that we've been able to create opportunity for, which is an amazing feeling.
That is. And like just to touch on the investment piece, like at what point did you be like, actually, we're going to do investment and we're going to go? Like, is that something that kind of happened naturally, or is that something that you made a really like big like decision on, like we need this to grow?
Yeah, I mean, we took a very small amount from our friends and family, which made us both very nervous because, of course, we take things
our
so
friends and family.
Yeah.
We're like, give us $10.
we take it so seriously that like we're like this has to work because like if we couldn't pay them back, like we would feel terrible. That's why also like we didn't hire somebody for the longest time because we were like we need to be so secure that we can pay their salary, their benefits for the long haul. And so that's why we were like so careful with when we chose to raise, when we chose to hire. But that the early round was very small. And then, you basically look at the milestones you want to achieve. And especially going into retail, there's some CapEx. So that means, the money it's going to take to set the shelves and the inventory and all that. And so at those points, you realize you can go one of two ways. You can decide, well, I'm going to maybe go into less stores and have to buy less inventory and less, graphics and things like that. Or you can say, we're going to take a risk. We're going to raise some money and we're going to go for all doors. And so for us, we knew we were doing something so different. We wanted to capitalize on the fact that we were doing something so different and really get it out fast. And so for us, the right answer was investment. But a lot of times entrepreneurs will go the other way and that's totally fine too. So it really depends on your comfort level.
Yeah, that's really insightful. Like, it's just like it's got to be that right time and the right partner and for the right reasons.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
amazing. And then one thing you'd wished you'd known when you started. So if you could go back to launch and like you could just have a little whisper in your ear, what would you say?
It's a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a lot of sacrifice. Be ready.
It's hard. You have to be ready for that. When people ask me, they're like, I have an idea. Should I start a business? And I say, listen, if you wake up and that passion is like burning inside you every day and you can't let it go for it. But just like, if it's something you're like, maybe I'm really excited about it now, but in a week or two, I'm not going to be as excited. Like, I would really think about it because there is a ton of sacrifice. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights, especially when you start hiring people and you have payroll and all of that. Like, it's a big responsibility and we don't take it lightly.
Yeah.
Time away back alley.
Yeah.
I'm a mama for kids.
Yeah, it's a lot.
When my little one was younger, it's funny. Somebody asked her and she's like, "What's daddy's name?" And it was bed. "What's mommy's name?" Office. I'm always in the office, and so like in a way it hurts, but I know that she'll be really proud of me when she understands what I'm doing. And I also want her to see, and I want to be a role model for her. But it's a lot of time away from friends, like the girls' trips, the this, the that. Like we say no to a lot of personal stuff because we're so committed to this.
Yeah, but I think it swings
make
and
it work.
roundabouts, and you make it work. And I think I'm a big believer in you can have it all, but just not at once. And
I
I
agree
think,
with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
that
You
that's-
can have it all. And
Yeah.
so like you compartmentalize. The weekends are for family.
Yeah.
The weekdays are for work. And
Yeah.
then like, you know,
And then
there's
when things
trips
go
and things
wrong, the
like
weekends are
that.
for work.
But also at the same time, I don't think I could do this without my family.
Yeah.
I think they also bring me a sense of being grounded. And when I have a bad day and my kids run to me and they're like, it's okay, Mama.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? It is okay. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely, it's going to be okay. And it's like, you know, you're in control of your own sort of futures now, and you can like shape that and like do it your own way, which is just so inspiring. So, I guess what is next then? Obviously, the UK launches now. What's next on the horizon for you guys?
I mean, we want to make sure UK goes well. So
This is
Yeah. Oh, you guys are gonna. I'm
Shout out
sure
to
of this.
Sephora.
Yeah. Get to
this
it.
is our focus for now. I think
Yeah.
like ultimately we want to become a brand that's a household name that people can trust and will come back to. So I think that's our ultimate goal.
We want longevity. We
Yeah.
want this brand to be around 10, 20, 30, 50 years from now. We want to be someone that's just like not like a blip in time.
Yeah.
We want to be known. Even like if we're no longer here, we want InnBeauty to
It
be
still
here and
goes
it
on.
wants to be.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
formulas
yeah.
live on,
Yep.
and everything works.
Absolutely.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much for
You-
coming on the
This has been such a
podcast.
pleasure.
so fun.
Oh my God, no, I've loved it. I'm so inspired. I'm like, you guys are so incredible. So yeah, well, thank you. And let's launch in the UK. While I have you, it would really help me out if you could just hit follow or subscribe, depending on which platform you're getting your podcast from. And I can keep bringing you these amazing conversations with these incredible guests. And yeah, I will see you next week on the Silly Little Girls Club.